Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Miss Arifah, and in this video, I'm going to talk about our first topic, which is literary devices, and I will talk about figurative language as part 1 of our discussion. The figurative languages that we are going to discuss are simile, metaphor, personification, hyperbole, allusion, and imagery. Okay, before we talk further, let's talk about literary devices and its definition and its use. Jadi, apa sih sebenarnya literary devices itu? Literary devices refer to the typical structures used by writers in their works to convey his or her messages in a simple manner to the readers. Jadi, literary devices itu adalah alat yang dipakai untuk mengekspresikan satu perasaan atau peristiwa dengan cara yang simple. Karena kadang-kadang satu cerita, satu expression, feelings itu sebenarnya sangat kompleks, tetapi tidak ada tempat untuk menulisnya. For example, in a poetry, because typically poetry is quite short, so you're going to need the tools to do that. Nah, literary devices ini harus dipakai secara proper atau sesuai. It has to be employed properly so that the readers can appreciate and interpret and analyze the literary work. Nanti kita akan membahas lebih lanjut maksudnya apa ya, gitu. Alright, some are in the forms of figure of speech, and this is the one that we are going to discuss in this video. Salah satu literary devices yang paling umum dipakai itu adalah figurative language, and we are going to discuss in a minute. Now, what is actually figurative language? Figurative language is also called figure of speech. Jadi nanti jangan bingung ya, figure of speech itu sama dengan figurative language. So what is actually figurative language? This is one of the most commonly used form of literary devices. And figurative language refers to the use of words in a way that deviates from the conventional order and meaning in order to convey a complicated meaning, colorful lighting, clarity, and evocative comparisons. It uses an ordinary sentence to refer to something without directly stating it. Jadi, kata-kata yang dipakai di figurative language itu sebenarnya common words, ya. Kata-kata yang umum dipakai tetapi maknanya terkadang beda dengan yang biasa dipakai. Jadi kurang lebih agak-agak mirip dengan idiomatic expression. Atau kadang-kadang misalnya tidak idiomatic, ya karena ingin mengungkapkan sesuatu tetapi dengan cara yang simple. Itu tadi. And figurative language can also make writing more artistic and pleasing to read. Namanya juga sastra. Kan diharapkan bentuknya cantik ya. Gitu. So figurative language will help you to make your writing becomes more beautiful. So the first figurative language that we are going to talk about is simile. I believe strongly that some of you have heard this before. So what is simile? This is one of the figurative languages that is used to compare something. So simile is a figure of speech used to directly express a comparison between two objects. X is like Y. Jadi membandingkan dua hal tetapi secara langsung. And usually, simile uses words such as like, than, resembles. Atau kalau dalam bahasa Indonesia, you usually can find the word bagaikan, seperti, something like that. Now, let's see the example. Life is like an onion. Nah, gini, ketika membandingkan dua hal, maka yang dibandingkan itu adalah karakteristiknya, tetapi bukan sekedar sembarangan karakteristik, tapi karakteristik yang dibandingkan itu adalah the common characteristic. So the characteristic that everybody knows about that thing. So what is the common characteristic of onion? Well, you can say that one of the most commonly known characteristic of onion is that it has a lot of layers. Jadi lapisannya banyak. Or onion is the one that makes people cry. That is very commonly known. Jadi bisa dibilang when somebody say life is like an onion, probably the person say that life sometimes makes you cry or life is layered or life is complex. It can be that way. But maybe the more common one is life makes you cry. Karena onion itu atau bawang merah, oh maaf bukan bawang merah tapi bawang bombay itu memang biasanya membuat orang nangis gitu ya. Alright, another example. The spot was as small as a pea. Nah, kita lihat karakteristik pea itu apa. Begitu mendengar kata pea atau kacang polong, we imagine something really small and something green. Tetapi kan dalam konteks ini nggak mungkin karakter yang kita inginkan itu adalah hijau. The spot was green, kan nggak mungkin. Jadi kita lihat konteksnya. Berarti karakter yang dimaksud di sini adalah karakternya P, yaitu kecil, gitu. Jadi spotnya itu terlalu kecil. Ini ibarat in bahasa Indonesia you have dunia ini tidak hanya selebar daun kelor. Nah, tentu kita tidak akan berpikir karakter yang dipakai di sini adalah rasa daun kelor, tetapi lebih ke size-nya yang sangat kecil. Alright. We also have example here. This pizza is as cold as ice. Of course, tidak mungkin pizza itu sedingin es. Tetapi ini karena untuk mengekspresikan perasaan mungkin jengkel ya, pizzanya sudah keras, jadi dia dan dingin, jadi dia memakai komparasi atau perbandingan dengan ice. Now let's take a look at the second figurative language, which is metaphor. So what is metaphor? Metaphor is a little bit similar to simile. This is also comparison, but the comparison is not direct, but it's implicit. X is Y. Jadi dua hal itu disejajarkan tetapi tidak langsung dibandingkan. Jadi ketika memakai metafor, you have to think first. Kira-kira nih orang maksudnya apa ya? Gitu. The children were flowers grown in concrete gardens. This is the example. Kita lihat karakteristiknya flower itu apa? Flower, kenapa anak-anak ini dibandingkan dengan flowers? Anak-anak adalah bunga yang tumbuh di taman beton. Okay, why flowers? Flowers identical with something beautiful, something that makes people happy to see. Tetapi grown in concrete gardens. Tapi kenapa dia tumbuh di concrete gardens ya? Maksudnya concrete gardens itu apa? Kita lihat kira-kira karakteristiknya apa? Beton itu kan sesuatu yang keras. And gardens itu berarti adalah tempat di mana banyak beton di situ. Nah, kita logika aja. The children with flowers grown in concrete gardens probably means that children are what makes life that is hard and harsh beautiful. Jadi anak-anak itu membuat hal yang keras gitu. Tempat yang keras itu menjadi indah gitu. Basically ada anak-anak membuat sesuatu menjadi indah gitu. Padahal mereka juga tumbuh di tempat yang keras itu. Something like that. Okay, he is a shining star. Jadi ini kalau simile akan diungkapkan he is like a shining star. Kalau ini enggak, langsung he is a shining star. Gitu ya. Jadi langsung dibandingkan secara tidak langsung dibandingkan dengan shining star. Dilihat aja karakteristiknya. Kalau shining star, star itu kan ada di atas dan shining is with lights. Jadi sesuatu yang indah gitu. Jadi dia mungkin orang yang sedang di atas dan terlihat indah bagi banyak orang. Alright, another example is this one, very famous one. Time is money. Time adalah uang. Nah. Okay, so some people confuse metaphor and simile, but please don't be confused. Sebenarnya cirinya itu sangat mudah. Kalau simile itu selalu ada kata-kata seperti as, and then like, and then. Jadi di sini ada beberapa example how to differentiate between simile and also metaphor. Like this one, Tom was walking as slow as a snail. Nah, karena ada as slow as, so it's a simile. But when you say his garden was a jungle of weeds, yeah, without the word like, then that's metaphor. Nah, misalnya kalian mau mengungkapkan feeling gitu ya, I feel like a loser gitu. Karena ada like, berarti itu masuk simile. Jadi ada like, as, and so on untuk perbandingan setelah kata kerja. Ciri-cirinya itu. Okay, the next one, this is quite commonly used. This is called personification. Mudah mengingatnya ya, dari kata person atau person or human. So what is personification? It's a figure of speech in which the quality or idea is represented by human qualities, or nature is portrayed as having human feelings, intelligence, or emotion. So basically you use what is usually used for human for non-human things. Jadi kata-kata, kata sifat, kata kerja yang biasa dipakai manusia, tetapi ini dipakai untuk non-manusia. For example, love is blind. Yeah, look at this cute little love here. Okay, love is blind. Biasanya yang blind itu kan manusia. Love itu kan nggak punya mata. Kok bisa blind? So, you know, when you are blind, you cannot see anything, and that's what love is. Jadi cinta itu membuat orang nggak bisa melihat apa-apa. Or the darkness is creeping through the city. Nah, creeping itu kan biasanya juga manusia gitu. Merangkak, apa ya bahasa Indonesianya yang tepat ya? The darkness is creeping through the city. Sebenarnya darkness itu kan nggak punya kaki, jadi nggak bisa jalan gitu. But you use it to show that the darkness is slowly going and over the city gitu. Jadi pelan-pelan gitu, lama-lama kotanya dipenuhi dengan kegelapan gitu. Sebenarnya pengen mengekspresikan itu. The sun smiles in the horizon. Matahari nggak punya mulut, jadi sebenarnya nggak bisa smile. Yang bisa smile itu manusia, but you want to express the beauty of smiles gitu. Jadi kalau smile, menggunakan kata smiles itu untuk menunjukkan bahwa the sun makes you happy, it shows positive thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Okay, now hyperbole. You probably use this a lot in your life. So what is hyperbole? Yeah, hyperbole is exaggeration. Sesuatu yang berlebihan to create a specific effect. Let's take a look at the example here. She gave us 1,000,000 pages to read for homework. Okay, maybe you do this a lot, yeah, especially in online learning. Aduh, homework terus, reading terus, assignment terus, and then you say 1,000,000 pages. Padahal juga nggak mungkin kan page-nya itu sampai 1 juta, nggak ada. Tetapi you want to express your feeling, your strong feeling about it. So you exaggerate it atau berlebihan. My heart is broken to pieces when I saw the price change. Now, my heart is broken to pieces, logically you will die, right? Kalau aslinya, kalau sampai hatinya itu pecah-pecah, ya matilah gitu. Jadi makanya ini masuk hiperbola. Jadi secara berlebihan gitu, to express a very strong feeling. Okay, now this is something you probably don't know yet, or this is something new for you. It's called allusion. This is also comparison, but when you refer to a person, place, or event, or to another literary work or passage. Bedanya sama metafor apa? Nah, bedanya adalah kalau allusion itu biasanya somebody or something that is famous, gitu ya, dikenal banyak orang gitu. Jadi bukan sembarangan benda atau manusia. Nah, serves to illustrate or clarify to enhance a subject gitu. Jadi kita membandingkan tetapi dengan something or someone that is famous and well known. For example, she is the Mother Teresa of this century. Dia adalah Mother Teresa. So who is Mother Teresa? Probably many of you have known that Mother Teresa is famous as a with her voluntary works to serve the poor and the needs. Beliau adalah penerima Nobel Prize karena seumur hidupnya beliau mendedikasikan untuk membantu orang-orang miskin dan terlantar di India sana. Nah, when somebody is referring someone to Mother Teresa, jadi karakter ini yang dimaksudkan. Sehingga when somebody say she is the Mother Teresa of this century means bahwa orang ini baik banget gitu. Alright. Another example, New York is the Mecca of fashion industry. New York and Mecca are two different places, ya kan? Tetapi kenapa Mekah yang dijadikan referensi di sini? Mekah itu apa sih? Mekah itu tempat yang menjadi kiblat, ya kan? Dan Mekah itu juga menjadi tempat berkumpulnya banyak orang. So when somebody say New York is the Mecca of fashion industry, maka New York ini dianggap sebagai kiblatnya fashion industry. Now, the last one that we are going to talk about is imagery. I don't know if you have heard this before, but this one is a very important literary devices as it can show people the senses that are common to human. Now, what is actually imagery? Imagery are the words that are used to create mental images for the reader. Jadi pembacanya itu ketika membaca imagery bisa membayangkan apa yang dirasakan, dilihat, disentuh oleh si pengarangnya ini. Now, the keyword is senses. So imagery draws on the 5 senses, namely taste, touch, sight, smell, and sound. But it's not limited to that, but also kinesthetic, olfactory, tactile, gustatory, thermal, and auditory sensation as well. Jadi kata kuncinya adalah sense. Jadi indera. Jadi kata-kata yang dipakai dalam imagery ini untuk menggambarkan sesuatu yang dirasakan oleh authornya sehingga readernya itu punya mental image, bisa membayangkan what happened at that time. Let's take a look at some examples here. The first example is the taste, ya, rasa dari lidah kita. The familiar tang of his grandmother's cranberry sauce reminded him of his youth. Gitu. Nah, di sini kan ada penggambaran the tang of his grandmother's cranberry sauce, sehingga si reader ini langsung membayangkan apa rasanya cranberry sauce yang ada tangnya gitu, ada kecut-kecut yang menampar gitu. Now, this is an example of sound. The concert was so loud that her ears rang for days afterward. Jadi karena konsernya so loud gitu, her ears rang gitu. Telinganya itu sampai masih berbunyi. Mungkin ini hanyalah metafor yang dipakai untuk menggambarkan telinganya, rasa dari telinganya itu gitu. Nah, ini supaya readernya itu bisa membayangkan telinganya itu sakit gitu because of the sound. Okay, and then now example for sight. The sunset was the most gorgeous that ever seen. The clouds were edged with pink and gold. Nah, penggambarannya di sini menggambarkan cloudsnya itu dengan pink and gold itu supaya readernya bisa langsung kebayang gitu. Oh, berarti indah banget ya, langsung bayangkan pink dan emas gitu, warna emas. Now, smell. After eating the curry, his breath reeked of garlic. Ini pembacanya langsung bisa membayangkan bau garlic itu seperti apa gitu. And then touch. The tree bark was rough against her skin. Nah, ini untuk bisa dibayangkan kalau si kulit kayu ini ngenain kulitnya seseorang gitu. So it's rough gitu, kasar gitu. Jadi bisa membuat yang baca itu langsung membayangkan rasanya tersentuh oleh kulit kayu ini. Begitu. So imagery can also sometimes use metaphor to express, tapi kata kuncinya adalah to create mental images and encourage the feeling of senses. Now, I have an example of a poetry that was written by one of the students in PBI UMY, It's written by Dodi Rizky Irawan, and it's called Dying. So this poetry is an expression of what he felt when he saw his grandfather died, and he was the first dying person that he saw. So it left him a very strong feeling that he could not forget. Jadi ini ceritanya adalah ketika sang kakek ini dalam kondisi akan meninggal dan lalu meninggal dan dalam kondisi layatan, because that was the first funeral that he has to face. So this is this left very strong feeling to him. Nah, seperti yang dilihat di sini ada beberapa penggambaran yang sangat sangat bisa create mental image gitu. For example, this one, breathing that begins to weaken, ini menggambarkan ketika seseorang akan meninggal ya, nafasnya mulai lemah, the body begins to cool, badannya mulai dingin, the eyes turn white. Nah, ini penggambaran yang secara visual, secara auditory itu kita bisa langsung membayangkan, oh, ada nafas yang mungkin pelan-pelan, ada tubuh yang sudah mulai dingin gitu kan, berarti itu sense of touch, and eyes turn white itu sense of visual gitu. Dan bagian lain juga ini sangat bagus imagery-nya. Seperti ini, the smell of camphor fills the nose, bau kapur barus gitu. Nah, ini sense of smell gitu. Nah, di sini ada juga hyperbole, tears like a waterfall that can be damped. Jadi ini ada perbandingan antara air mata dengan air terjun. Tentu saja air terjun itu sangat besar, tidak mungkin air mata itu sebesar air terjun. Tetapi ini hyperbole yang dipakai untuk menggambarkan betapa kesedihan itu sangat overwhelming saat itu, banyak orang menangis dan sedih gitu ya, sehingga hyperbole yang dipakai. Ada juga metaphor ya, the house here, the last house is ready to accompany. Kubur itu digambarkan sebagai rumah gitu, tapi the last house, house itu apa sih? Tempat kita tinggal, tempat kita akhirnya istirahat gitu. That's why house di sini dipakai sebagai metaphor of alam kubur gitu. Now, I hope that you can also use some of these figurative languages when you write your poetry. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope you learned something here and probably take notes. And I'm going to see you in another video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.